Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial I will show you how to create this password visibility toggler using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So to show you how this works quickly, I will input my password in the field, and in order for me to see what I have typed, I can click this checkbox and now I can see the password I typed. If I click the checkbox again, my password is not visible and I see these signs. It is going to be an easy project and will not take a lot of time, so let's step into Visual Studio Code right now and start coding this application from scratch. So back in Visual Studio Code, I have opened the blank project, and the first thing we need to do now is to create our index.html file. We need to create our style.css, and we need to create our app.js file. Inside the index, let's generate our boilerplate. So I will hit Shift exclamation mark and tab, and that will generate my boilerplate automatically. For the title, I will say how to toggle password visibility. And inside the body, let's create h1 tag, and I will basically copy the same as the title and I will paste it here. And below this h1, let's create our input. So that will be input of type password. The name will be input dash password and the ID will be input dash password. So below this, let's create our checkbox. So we'll say input, so it will be input type checkbox, name will be input dash checkbox, and ID will be input dash checkbox. Below the checkbox, let's create one label for visibility, I will call this, and I will say, I have a typo here, visibility, I hate my keyboard, so I will say show password. Okay, we are done with the HTML, so let's quickly open this with Live Server and see how this looks in the browser. So now we see that, and let's quickly link our CSS file. So I will say link CSS, and that will automatically connect my CSS file. And let's also make sure we include our script. So I'll say script source app.js. Okay, everything is linked, I believe. So let's start styling this application. So inside the style.css, let's do a reset. Let's say box sizing border box, margin 0 and padding 0. So for the body, let's say, let's give the body a width of 100%, a height of 100 viewport height because we want to position them in the center. For the background, let's say F4, 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 which is kind of white, light gray or something. And then for the display, let's say flex, align item center, justify content center, flex direction column, font family, let's choose Verdana, Geneva, Tahoma and sans serif, and let's save to see how this looks. Go back into the browser and we see this. Let's style the h1. So for the h1, let's say font size of 35 pixels. Let's save and see how this looks like. It looks small, so let's make it 40 pixels to be a little bit bigger. That's okay. Now let's style the input. So for the input, we gave this an ID of input password. Yeah, and this is going to be with a padding of 5 pixels and a margin of 20 pixels for the top and bottom and 0 for the left and right. And now we see that it's looking better. Let's also style this label. So inside the CSS, let's say label, and let's give this label a font size of 18 pixels. Let's save and check this. It's looking better. So now let's write our JavaScript. So inside the JavaScript, first thing we need to do is we need to bring those inputs that we created. So I will say const input password equals document that get element by ID, and that will be our input dash password. I'll copy this, and for this one I'll say input checkbox, which will be our input dash checkbox. Now for the logic, we need to assign an event listener to the checkbox, because whenever we click the checkbox we need to toggle the password visibility. So we need to do input checkbox dot add event listener, and we will listen for the click event, and I will pass an anonymous function here, arrow function, and inside this function let's first test if we have successfully attached the event listener. So I can say alert 1 2 3, go back, click it, and we see that alert message which shows us that it's working properly. Now we need to do an if check. So if input password, if the type of input password, which is the field, is password, if the type is password, then we need to change the type to a text. So basically we can do input password dot type equals text, and for the opposite case we just need to say input password equals text. So now if I save this and go back and type something and click the checkbox, we are able to see the text. If I type it again, so here instead of text we just need to say password, and that will fix it. And let's type again, click the checkbox, we see the text, we click the checkbox again, we see the password signs again. So that was it. An easy project, didn't take a lot of time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and also comment below with a comment saying I subscribed, and I will make sure to respond to your comment as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next video.